I woke up this morning to a war going on in Gaza and southern Israel, and I want to give this conflict background before I head into work. I'm in Spartanburg, South Carolina right now on a consulting job, but I have a few minutes before I have to be on site, and keep in mind that all I have is a laptop right now, and a lot of my tools and my large monitors aren't with me. The tough thing is that I have a number of Israeli viewers, and I also have a number of Palestinian viewers, who, by the way, think it's hilarious when I speak Arabic with my Egyptian accent. What I'd really like is for everybody to just kind of go home and live in peace, but that doesn't seem to be in the cards right now. So here's what I think is going on, and then I want to get into some of the background on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. On October 7th, Palestinian forces launched thousands of rockets into Israel. They also conducted raids into southern Israel over land, sea, and believe it or not, air. That's right. Palestinian forces launched paragliders into Israel. So that's certainly one way of doing infiltration. Now, from what I understand, these Palestinian forces are focused on the city of Ashkelon, where they have gone door to door attacking and in some cases kidnapping civilians. So here's the background. Jews, Arabs, and Christians lived together in mostly peaceful coexistence in Palestine for hundreds of years under the rule of the Ottoman Turks. World War I broke out in 1914. The Turks were on Germany's side. Britain decided to open up a southern front by capturing the Sinai Peninsula and taking Palestine from the Turks. Now, there is no more dangerous predator in the desert than a Bedouin and his rifle. So Britain recruited Arab leaders to their side to fight against the Turks by promising them Palestine when they won. Britain also recruited several battalions made up of local Jews living in Palestine with the promise that if they helped defeat the Turks, the Jews would get their own homeland. This was very appealing to a Jewish movement called Zionism, which basically advocated for a Jewish homeland. Zion, by the way, is the name for a hill in Jerusalem, and sometimes it's used colloquially in the Bible for Jerusalem. So Britain essentially promised the same piece of land to the Arabs and the Jews. And while this may seem crazy in hindsight, it raised the troops that Britain needed to open up a southern front against Turkey. Britain eventually received a mandate from the League of Nations to administer Palestine. In 1947, the United Nations proposed a partition plan for Palestine, which recommended the establishment of separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem under international administration. This plan was accepted by Jewish leadership, but it was rejected by the Arab states and Palestinian Arab leaders. The partition plan was never fully implemented. Israel declared independence in May of 1948. Neighboring Arab states invaded Israel immediately, leading to the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Israel calls it the War of Independence. The Arabs call it a Nakba, the catastrophe. Even though Israel was poorly equipped and trained, they somehow won against 5 nations: Egypt, Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and Lebanon. Jewish militias then expelled over 700,000 Palestinians from their homes. The state of Israel grew beyond the original borders set by the United Nations. Many Palestinians ended up in a thin strip of land called Gaza, or this landlocked area called the West Bank, or Lebanon. And before you think about how barbaric it was for Israel to eject these people, I want you to look at your neighbor. The only reason that you are alive today is thousands of years ago, someone from your tribe wiped out someone from a competing tribe. You have the luxury of being able to clutch your pearls at Israel's actions because your tribe won the war before social media. I mean, I'm sure everybody in Florida feels horrible about what Andrew Jackson did to the Seminole Nation, but then they're like, it is nice we don't have to shovel snow. So that's the root of the conflict. You have a country that just wants the right to exist, pitting itself against a nation of refugees that don't feel like they got what they were promised. And that's the general background. What's going on right now is that Israel is activating its reservists, and life is going to get pretty hard for the Palestinians in the next few days. I strongly suggest that you join my Substack, ryanmcbeth.substack.com. It's free because I'm probably not going to be able to show you certain kinds of footage on YouTube, and that's really going to make it hard for me to perform analysis. I got to get to my consulting gig. I'll be monitoring the situation as best I can. And thank you guys for watching.